Today we will tell a story that shows that even in royal families, children are capable of making bold and unexpected decisions. The youngest daughter of King Frederik and Queen Mary, Princess Josephine has made a choice that will change her life. Why did her parents support this step? And what does it mean for the future of the Danish monarchy? Let us find out together. Queen Mary, who was once just an ordinary Australian and knows what it is like to adapt to a new life, approached her daughter's decision with special understanding. The Queen remembers very well how difficult it was for her to find her place in Danish society when she first came to Denmark for the love of the then Crown Prince, Frederik. This personal story made Mary especially sensitive to Josephine's need for independence and the search for her own identity. Frederik, who in his youth was known for not wanting to strictly follow royal protocol, saw in his daughter's decision a reflection of his own independent spirit. The king, who once surprised Denmark with his unexpected actions and relationships, now understood Josephine's desire to break away from the formal life of the palace. For Frederik, his daughter's choice became confirmation that he and Mary are raising not just future representatives of the monarchy, but real, thinking people with their own desires and dreams. But the most telling moment was how exactly the royal couple supported their daughter. Instead of arranging a grand farewell or turning the start of her studies into a media event, they deliberately chose restraint. On the very day when Josephine began a new chapter in her life almost 300 kilometers away from home, King Frederik calmly went about his duties in Copenhagen, holding the traditional audience at Christiansborg Palace. This action speaks volumes about the deep respect the parents have for their daughter's independence. Mary, as always, showed her practicality and foresight. Years of work with youth organizations have taught her to understand the challenges that modern teenagers face. It is interesting to see how differently the royal couple approaches raising each of their 4 children. Crown Prince Christian follows the traditional path, military training that prepares him for his future role as king. Princess Isabella chose a prestigious high school that matches her academic abilities. Prince Vincent, Josephine's twin, remains in his usual school environment. But Josephine has shown from early childhood that she will go her own way. Josephine's school biography has already been full of changes. She began her studies at Trænegårdsskolen together with her twin brother Prince Vincent. Then, in the year 2023, she moved to the private Kildegard School, where she spent only 2 years. And now, a new, bolder stage. Frederik and Mary have always tried to give their children as normal a childhood as possible, at least within the limits of a royal family. They remember that day in the year 2017 when the twins Vincent and Josephine went to first grade. At the time, Mary honestly admitted to journalists that the day was emotionally difficult for her. Now, 7 years later, the Queen is once again experiencing the moment of letting her child go, but this time into adult life. The decision to support Josephine shows that Frederik and Mary are not just monarchs fulfilling ceremonial functions, but living, modern parents who put the well-being of their children above traditions and formalities. They have shown that they are ready to compromise for the happiness of their daughter. Mary's position in this situation is especially touching. A woman who once left everything for love and a new life in a foreign country now supports her daughter in her pursuit of independence. Mary knows what it feels like to be a stranger in a new place, and she wants Josephine to learn to cope with difficulties on her own, rather than relying all her life on royal privileges. Over the years of her work in the Mary Foundation, she has thoroughly studied the Danish boarding school system and its influence on young people's psychological well-being. In one interview, Mary admitted, "In my first years in Denmark, I did not know what boarding schools were, but I quickly realized that they are special. It seemed that these schools had a certain social magic." Frederik, for his part, is showing a rare willingness for a monarch to let go of control. For a king who has been in the public eye his entire life, the decision to give his daughter the freedom to choose requires real courage. And King Frederik has chosen trust. At the same time as Josephine is starting this new stage of her life, the royal family is returning to active work after the summer holidays. King Frederik has already held his first official meetings, and Queen Mary is preparing for the opening of a new Headspace Center in Tarnby, an organization that provides psychological support to young people aged 12 to 25. This once again emphasizes that the well-being of young people is a priority for the royal couple, both in their personal lives and in their public work. This family story shows that behind the official portraits and ceremonial duties, there are real people with genuine feelings and experiences. Frederik and Mary are not just king and queen. They are caring parents who want their children to grow up as independent and happy people, capable of making their own decisions. Now that summer is over and the royal family is returning to active public life, it is especially noticeable how their family dynamics have changed. The older children are becoming more and more independent, and Frederik and Mary are learning to be the parents of growing children, not just royal guardians. Perhaps this is the main lesson of Josephine's story. Even royal parents must be able to let their children go, trust their choices, and support their desire for independence. Frederik and Mary have shown the whole world that true parental love is not about protection and control, but about the readiness to support a child on their own journey to adulthood, even if that path seems unusual. What do you think about her decision? Is modern monarchy truly changing, and should young members of royal families be given more freedom? Write your thoughts in the comments. We are very interested to know your opinion. Do not forget to like and subscribe so you do not miss the next royal news. See you in the next video.